Ministry of Wrestling podcast. Do you know what I think about the Ministry of Wrestling podcast? It's my favorite podcast and I'm yet to listen to it. Right now, I will listen to it. That's the deal, right? So right now, if you're looking at my bald head and you're not listening to the Ministry of Wrestling podcast, I'm ashamed of you. I'm disappointed in you. You've made me sad. And the only way you can sort this out is by listening to
the Ministry of Wrestling podcast.
Do it now and subscribe. And do other things with the thing.
All right, thank you. Top man.
Hey yo, how you doing, guys? It's me, the 1AJ, representing them boys, so you know what that means. We're here for the Elimination Chamber, taking down in good old Australia, Perth. That may be the most offensive and worst Australian accent you've ever heard, and I do apologize. But guys, look, it's a WWE PLE, so we're going to put down our pay-per-views, especially on the road to WrestleMania. It's a bit of a short card, and to be fair, some would say extremely predictable. But we couldn't just stop there. So close to WrestleMania, be like, we stop. No, doesn't matter. So how does it work? If you're joining us for the first time, it's quite simple. I am 1/5 of the Ministry of Members. That's right. There are 4 other guys, and we compete against each other to crown the Ministry of Wrestling champion. Yeah, there's a belt and everything. I should get an image up of it, but the other guy's holding it, so we don't really care until it's back in my possession. But quite frankly, it's very simple. Each pay-per-view, we compete for pay-per-view points. How do you get a pay-per-view point? Quite simple. You predict the winner of a match. If you're right, you get a point. If you don't, you don't. And the person with the most points gets a series of show points. How do the show points work? Well, quite simply this. The person with the most pay-per-view points gets 4 show points. Second place, 3 show points. Third place, 2 show points. Fourth place, 1 show point. And fifth place, 0. In the event that there is a 0 and 5th place and it's all ranked out, it may be a case that we all get the same amount of points. Because we got one wrong, got one right. And quite frankly, if one or all of us gets it, I've never had it where it's all of us get it, but it may happen. If there is a clean sweep on all the predictions, then there is a bonus point and it's 5 points per person who gets it. So let's not waste any time. Let's kick it off with the Elimination Chamber taking place in good old Perth. Let me put my teeth back in. I'm excited because if you're in the UK, you get to watch this at 10 a.m., not 1 a.m. in the morning. We get to get a good night's sleep and wake up, but I'm recording late. Anyway, enough of me talking. Let's kick it off with the Women's Elimination Chamber match and see how the guys voted. Okay, Women's Elimination Champ, the returning Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, the returning Trinity Fatu, a.k.a. Naomi. What's called Naomi again? The man, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Miss Undefeated at WrestleMania, and recently upgraded from NXT. It's Tiffy time, baby, Tiffany Stratton. Look, there is a lot of people in there with a lot of potential. To me, it comes down to absolutely 2, and that's Bianca Belair and obviously the man, Becky Lynch. Now, both of these would be interesting. Bianca versus Rhea, absolutely a beauty of a match. But she's on the other show. But she's just come back. And I would love to see it. That would be the match I would love to see. But there was one that it's been pumped and we have to go with it. Let's be honest. It's the man, big time Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley. That's the one on the cards. Becky's moment again. Maybe 2, split it in half. 2 of the 4 horsewomen in title matches at WrestleMania. There's not much to say. I would love to see Bianca versus Rhea, but I know right now this is all about Becky versus Rhea, so Becky Lynch for the win.
This whole card for me, sadly, is the epitome of just bad. I'd like to use more colourful language than bad, but I'm restricted. So bad. Bone, bulls, not very good. To say that you're only going to have 4 matches on the pay-per-view before Mania is a tad weak. I know that people are going to say that, but, the Rumble only had 4 matches. Yeah, that's kind of what worries me, because the Rumble I didn't think was very good either. And I thought it exposed Paul Levesque and his, vainglorious booking of long matches when the talent isn't necessarily up to doing long matches, such as the way that WWE book their matches. The good thing on this side, I am talking about the Women's Rumble, FYI. The good thing on this side is that where the Rumble fully exposed the weakness of some of the roster members, sadly, at least with the Elimination Chamber matches, they're going to be, it's essentially the top 6 from each Rumble, especially for the women. So the quality is there amongst them, and they're not going to have to carry the matches the way they did in the Rumble. The problem we come into is that this has been telegraphed a mile off. Becky's winning this. Like, there's no ifs, no buts. Oh, what if she... There's no what if she... Oh, but in reality... No. Becky's winning this.
I think this match might be the closer, the women's chamber match. It should be the closer. It's the one that makes more sense, the one that people actually care about more than the men's match. If it's not Judgment Day, it's going to be these guys. And right now, there's only one person can win here. It's Becky Lynch. That's what I'm focused on. It's going to be Becky, because I see stuff for Bianca Belair to go up against other people. Liv Morgan just came back, and if she won, I can't see her being a credible champ, to go for the title. You know what? Tiffany could do it, and I like the fact that they're going by Tiffany. Or Naomi. Yeah. I'm just naming off people in this match, except for the one with the back. Gonna stick with the one they call Becky Lynch to win this. So that's a simple prediction. 4 matches. Yeah. Love it when it's just nice and quick. Ain't like something else. Lovely. But it does feel like a B show, doesn't it?
Yo, so this prediction is for the Women's Elimination Chamber. So you've got Bianca Belair, you've got Becky Lynch, you've got Liv Morgan, you've got Raquel Rodriguez, and a couple of others. So this will be quite interesting because you've got a lot of potentials in there. Like Liv Morgan could be a threat. Obviously, she's looking to finish her story, if you will, in terms of getting her revenge for Rhea Ripley taking her out. However, I think it's a little bit too soon. I mean, when you look at the likes of Becky Lynch, who's obviously put in the work, yeah, she's had some bad matches in terms of not winning, but then she's obviously come back and she's trying to fight her way back. Yes, Liv Morgan was injured, but there's not really that much of a storyline with Liv and Rhea Ripley yet. They haven't crossed paths as such. They haven't had the confrontation like what Becky Lynch and Nia Jax had. So for her to just become the #1 contender out of the blue, I don't think so. Maybe she'll work her way into a triple threat, but I don't think she's going to win this match. I think this one is for Becky Lynch. It's her first Elimination Chamber. They seem to be promoting her really well. And the rest of the women, they'll be a good showcase. Tiffany Stratton, that's another one. She'll get a good showcase. Bianca Belair will obviously show strong. She will probably have a little bit of a competition with Raquel Rodriguez. And Liv Morgan will obviously get caught up in the mix of it. And I think there's going to be some other stories told in this match as well. And for that fact, Becky, who seems to be that much more concentrated on getting to WrestleMania, I think Becky Lynch is going to win this one. So my pick, as much as there are a couple of other threats, and you know what, it could still go the other way as well, and it would be interesting. I wouldn't be pissed. It would be interesting to see where they would go with it. But in terms of it making sense, Becky Lynch. So that's my pick.
All right, next up is the Elimination Chamber match for the women. And the winner will be going to WrestleMania to face Rhea Ripley for that World Women's Championship. Okay, so we got Naomi taking on Tiffany Stratton, taking on Rachel Rodriguez, taking on Liv Morgan, taking on Becky Lynch, taking on Bianca Belair, the EST of WWE. All right, who's going to win this one? Yeah, this one is probably like one of the more harder matches of the night to pick because there is viable contenders. But unfortunately, due to the story they've been building up, the interruptions, the story they're telling, the dream match they want to sort of push, I'll be very shocked to see anyone other than Becky Lynch walking out the victor of that Elimination Chamber. Now, what may happen is some other matches do get set up along the way. For instance, like we could see Jade Cargill come down here and basically just ruin the night of Bianca, setting up their like little thing for WrestleMania. Hell, maybe somebody gangs up on Bianca and, Jade either that night or in the coming weeks has to make the save, innit? But either way, we're going to get to something with WrestleMania between Jade and Bianca. As for Becky, it's already been set up for that to be the match. Like, they're pushing, and that's a match that I want to see, actually. Rhea versus Becky. It is a dream match. It's never happened before, so... never happened before with this version of each characters. So, I'm here for it, man. Becky Lynch for the win.
Okay, so there you are. As it currently stands, the entire ministry are back in Big Time Bex for a big time match. It's hard to go against it, isn't it? I'm not exactly going to change my mind right now. I do have the opportunity to, but there's no point. It's most definitely Becky Lynch for the win. If you agree, comment below. If you disagree, guess what? Comment below. Either way, leave us a like. Anyway, we move on now to the tag team title match. The Judgment Day, Damian Priest, Mr. Senor Del Money in the Bank, and Finn Balor versus... I can't remember their new catch something, but British Strong Style. Pete Dunne is back, Butcher's gone, and good old Tyler Bate for the tag team titles. Which way did the guys vote? Let's have a look.
So I love the fact that Catch Republic are even on a pay-per-view card. And do I think they're far more talented in-ring performers than on Judgment Day side? Yeah, I do. But that's subjective. I'm a big fan of British Strong Style, and even the watered down parental guidance British Strong Style that we get in The Fed, it's still different to what we normally get, the clean, cynical, cookie cutter wrestling that's normally on display. I do think this might be match of the night because the Brits are just great in this capacity. I can't see Judgment Day losing it at this stage, though. So, yeah, Judgment Day to win.
Judgment Day is having two matches on this card. One's Ripley, and this one's a tag team match. I know it should be... I'm going to go with Finn Balor. To say it right up from the start. It's going to be Finn Balor winning. Well, Finn Balor and Damian Priest for the Judgment Day. But I'm just going to call it Finn Balor for now because that's the one I focus on. The little small guy with the Irish accent. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Finn, I believe Finn can come back and make a big deal of himself again like he once was. And right now, either Damien's going to cash in and do something, but I can't see him as a champ. But that's not what we're talking about. Focus on the Elimination Chamber. It's going to be a retention show or a very predictable show. Only 4 matches. I'm sticking with Judgment Day having everything, at least up until Mania. So I'm sticking with this and saying the winner of this match will be Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Judgment Day once again. And if you haven't seen that prediction before, I kind of gave the other one away.
And little shout out to El Idolo. Welcome back to WWE. But this is the prediction for the Elimination Chamber. And this is the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships. So this will be a good showcase for that tag team. But unfortunately, I think they're going to meet their first defeat. You're more than likely going to have Dominic Mysterio around. And obviously, when any one of them are around any of their matches, you know what goes down. So in this case, still your WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions, the Judgment Day.
Okay, BigTone in the zone, man. Elimination Chambers here. One more stop before WrestleMania as far as PLE goes, before the big one. And, this card, interesting card. We only got 4 matches this time round, but no doubt this event will be very fun. Kind of, something to whet our appetite, if you will, for like what's to come in the next couple of months. So without further ado, I'm gonna start this off with the tag team title match between Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, and of course Judgment Day. So who's gonna win this one? Yeah, Judgment Day are winning this one, isn't it? Yeah. Unfortunately, I do like the team of Bate and Dunne, but they've just come together. It's a formation thing. It's done really as a bit of filler, and that's what this match is. I mean, hopefully, we might get a little glimpse into where they're actually going for Judgment Day's WrestleMania plans. If I was a betting man, I would say the Awesome Truth will be taking on Judgment Day, and maybe even dethroning them, but who knows, man. But for now, Judgment Day for the win.
Tag titles on the line. The Judgment Day versus the newly reformed British Strong Style. I'm not too sure if they've got another name. All I do know is Butcher's long gone. Pete Dunne is back. Tyler Bate has left NXT. He's now on the main roster, and they're taking on the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest for the tag titles. Look, it's nice to see them back, but you can't be going into Mania unless a huge thing is going to happen to point in the direction of Damian Priest cashing in. But I'm just going to go with what the logic is, what my heart is saying right now, and I believe the Judgment Day are going to have a Mania moment. So with that, the Judgment Day to win. Sorry, Pete. Sorry, Tyler. I don't think you guys are ready yet. There are stronger contenders to take the tag titles off him. Finn Balor and Damian Priest, Mr. Money in the Bank. Right. This is fun for a prediction show, isn't it? We're still on the same page. Wow. But yeah, good point. Couple of points. Then the text said, yeah, this is Judgment Day in 2 matches and all their belts on the line. They can either leave Sydney or Perth, sorry. Australia is what I meant to say. They can either leave Perth, one happy team, one medium happily team, or one very sad team. But we'll see which way it goes. And yeah, Awesome Truth for the tag titles at Mania. That looks like a prediction. But hey, maybe Catch Republic, as Nico said, might be the ones. Also, I want to put a little apology out if you're hearing Leon's audio. Something's going on there, but we will try to get that fixed. Just couldn't fix it in time for this show. Okay, now we move on to the men's Elimination Chamber. Also, something I heard Nico say Rumble, but I think he meant Chamber. Yeah, just stick with it. It's Elimination Chamber. The Rumble's long gone. So that's the one. But yes, we're now talking the men's Elimination Chamber. Let's see how the guys voted.
Right, with the men's elimination chamber, there's only one way they can go, and this guy has been doing some of the best work he's been doing in years, and he's killing it right now, and that's Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre must win, and because his T-shirt with Punk, come on, that's heel move, but with good heel move. I gotta love it. Gotta say, Drew has been killing it. There's some heavy hitters in this match as well, but yeah, I see them in other things later down the line. But right now, it's Drew's time, and gotta stick with Drew. To the point of, I can see Drew walking out of WrestleMania with the championship because he's killing it, man. Yeah, my pick for this match gotta be Drew McIntyre.
We have the men's Elimination Chamber, and this comes down to 2 people, really, and that's Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre. With the others, again, there's going to be another story told in this. There's going to be a few distractions, but obviously this story that's been building and this change that seems to be summoning from Drew McIntyre is very interesting, and it seems as if he's going to be the one to face Seth Rollins. Don't really see it being Kevin Owens. It definitely is not going to be Logan Paul. I mean, for the life of me, I didn't want that US title on him. Please don't try to put another one on So it's definitely not going to be him. Although there's going to be a story told, and I don't know if it's going to be Randy Orton or Kevin Owens, but there's going to be something there where that's going to be a heavy distraction, which pretty much leaves Bobby Lashley being probably the only threat. But apart from that, no, I think Drew's a little bit too focused now with this change as kind of like rogue, heel, anti-hero sort of thing. And that kind of Drew is dangerous. And I think he's going to do whatever it takes to see to it that he faces Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. So my winner for the men's Elimination Chamber is Drew McIntyre.
Okay, and now we come to the main on this kind of short show, but hopefully the chamber matches are long. And yeah, hopefully this one is long, man. We're talking about the men's Elimination Chamber match featuring none other than Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, Logan Paul, Kevin Owens, the Viper Randy Orton, and the Scottish Warrior Drew McIntyre. Okay, so yeah, that's a really good cast of people, and again, this match will probably set up WrestleMania feuds. Yeah, like whoever deals with Logan good is gonna go into WrestleMania, to fight for that his title, the US title. I'm guessing in it, that's either LA Knight, as I've been saying for weeks, or they're gonna continue the KO thing. Hell, it might be a thing where LA Knight and KO get in the way of each other. But then, I do think the LA Knight AJ Styles thing hasn't been really paid off, so maybe they paid that off at WrestleMania, and KO goes to fight Logan once more at WrestleMania, because again, the end of the Royal Rumble hasn't been paid off either. So there's that. As for the World Heavyweight Championship match, Seth, who's he going to be taking on? There's only really one build that makes sense, and that is Drew McIntyre, man. One, Drew has been great, man. He's really been the best heel on Raw. Yeah, the way he speaks, the things he does, the t-shirt that he rolled out, it's all been hilarious, man. And to be honest, like, he's been an unsung hero. And I feel that, it's time. We talk about Cody finishing the story. I want Drew to finish his story, man. I want him to, win a world title in front of fans. And he can have a short to decent run. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, but I just feel that it would be good for him to get that win and that rub and that main event. Well, one of the so-called main event slots at Mania, but we'll see. So yeah, I'm calling my shot, Drew McIntyre, to pick up the win.
Okay, we are now in that territory of the men's Elimination Chamber. We have former champion Kevin Owens, former champion Bobby Lashley, former champion Randy Orton, former champion Drew McIntyre, internet sensation and US champion Logan Paul, and everyone's favorite hottest star in the WWE right now, LA Knight. Yeah. Now, more importantly, if you look at the card, you have 5 men representing SmackDown, 1 man representing Raw, which really kind of tells you the way it's going. I don't want to disrespect anything that they're doing, but we really want a storyline of we've created a title for Raw, and now what we're going to do is have that title go over to SmackDown, or we got people who are out for blood with the bloodline. Like, each way you look at it, most people are after something on SmackDown. Bobby's got his feud with, I'm going to call it Authors of Pain and Karrion Kross. Oh, New Testament, that's the name. Like, there's a lot going on for him. Kevin Owens is looking at Logan Paul. Logan Paul is looking at Kevin Owens. LA Knight might be looking at Logan Paul, but he's also got AJ Styles on his tail. There's all of that going on. Randy Orton is bloodline set. The man is smelling blood. The Viper's got it. Didn't he leave Raw to go to SmackDown for that very purpose? So quite frankly, there is only one answer. And the man is absolutely red hot right now. I'm talking DM Hunk. You know it. Mr. Claymore Country. Let's put that man back in the main event at WrestleMania. Mind you, he had a title match at WrestleMania not too long ago, but lost to Bobby Lashley. Really, and if this was another year, it would have been Bobby Lashley all day long for me. But the absolute answer can only be Drew McIntyre for the win.
The men's Royal Rumble is a bit less of a sordid affair than the women's Rumble this year. You can work out who's going to win, mostly, but they haven't telegraphed it the way they have with the women. Same issue. You just know that this is going to be a very, very long match. And I know that some people are going to say, well, that's the nature of an Elimination Chamber. Yes and no. Shayna Baszler wasn't particularly long, but Paul Levesque is booking this now, and you know this is going to be long, and it's going to be laborious, and you know it's going to be Spot Fest City. Are we going to see a pod spot that we've seen a million times before? Yes, probably from Kevin Owens. Are we going to see a high-flying spot that we've seen a million times before? Yes, probably from Logan Paul. Are we going to see an RKO from someone jumping off the top of the pod, which we've seen before? Yes. I'm not asking for the wheel to be reinvented here, but Triple H or Paul Levesque, however you want to call him, his booking of matches is very, very formulaic. Not in so much the ending, but in the way that they're designed. And he's got this kind of weird must be long to equal better fetish. And it's going to be that case here, which is why I think we've only got 4 matches on this card. Drew McIntyre's going to win this, I'm afraid. Well, I'm afraid. I love Drew. Yeah, Drew McIntyre's going to win. Lashley and Orton are there to make up the numbers. Owens and Logan are there to do stuff that's crazy. LA Knight, I think they're going to play an interesting story with him and Logan, or KO and Logan, or all 3 of them for the US title. So there will be some match building here, which is good. Can't say the same for the women, but yeah, Drew to win this. Drew McIntyre to win this.
Okay, there are 4 matches, and 3 matches all have the same thing. And I told you, he keeps saying Rumble. He keeps saying Rumble when it's meant to be Chamber. We know what we're talking about. These T-shirts do actually have some value if you're watching us for the first time. They do, I promise. Check out our interviews. Anyway, it's now time for what... Actually, before we go into what I believe will be the main event, because it's Australia's very own Mammy Rhea Ripley for the first time in a long time. Bring back the Iconics and Emma while you're at it, please, Hunter. You've got a few hours to make it happen. Let's talk about the main event scene, because that's the world title. But as well as the world title, the undisputed WWE title is in a position where we have Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. And we also have the man who's been backing him, he's Shield, Seth Rollins, and they're going to be on the Grayson Waller effect, baby. Yeah. So look, when BigTone and I done our WrestleMania preview show, I was very much of the nature that we were going to get The Rock and Roman versus Seth and Cody. Not so much now. I know Roman's in Australia. Not so sure if The Rock's going to be there. But I don't like you. We all know how these shows go. It's never really just the way of it being just a one-on-one. Is Seth medically cleared yet? I don't know. They might just be saving him for Mania. I expect to see something a bit more pumped from whatever happened. Maybe they're going to beat down Jay and Solo, because you know what? Jimmy and Solo, sorry, because hey, that's the fodder that Roman has sent first. I'm not too sure, especially where he's like, no yeet, I got the job done on yeet, you know, whichever way. But I think it's going to be interesting. I don't think it's going to lead to a match, but that's just the way of it. But I would love to know what you guys think. Please comment below. What is the Grayson Waller effect going to be about? Will we see the great one, the chosen one, the people's champ now turning slightly more Hollywood, bringing back the old $500 vest, but he's way too big to wear it, so now it's a waistcoat? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The Rock, not my plan. But either way, want to know what you want to say and how you see the Waller effect going. Maybe it'll be a beatdown of Waller and Theory. I know Theory's in town as well, and hey, these two deserve a whooping just because they do, don't they? Be interesting to see how the Australian crowd deal with Grayson. And yeah, maybe a couple of shoeies may take place. Anyway, that's my predictions. We were fortunate to get a bonus bit of content from Double V himself. So let's have a word with let's have a word. Let's listen to the words he has to say before we head on to the main event.
All right, let me throw a little bonus video out there, because we've also got the Grayson Waller effect that is going to be on this premium live event. And he's got arguably the 4 biggest stars in WWE at the moment. And I'm going to make a little bold prediction here. I think we could have a sleeper 5th match here. They could go down the boring route and give us just every single one of them comes in, to put their faces over and do some heel heat stuff. Rock will probably tell someone to shine something up and stick it up their backside, because that's his shtick, and it has been since 1999. Roman Reigns will look like less of a champion when he's standing next to The Rock, and they'll just throw some spitballs, and there may be a fight that breaks out, and Grayson Waller, bless him, is going to have a lot of fun hosting this. Good for him. However, I do see them doing a little swerve on us, which I would appreciate. And I see them doing kind of like KO and Steve Austin did on the KO show that closed night one of Mania that turned into a match. I could see this turning into an impromptu match. If it does, Cody and Seth are going to win. Not that that's a prediction, because this isn't on the card officially. I'm just having some fun here. To be honest, it could go either way. This is really, if this does turn into a match, I could easily see Rock and Roman winning, just to be like, look at the obstacles more obstacles that Cody has to overcome at Mania. Equally, Seth and Cody, actually it's more fun if the Bloodline win, isn't it? Doesn't matter who wins. I think we're getting an impromptu match here, which I think is nice, considering it's the first pay-per-view of this type in Australia that's not kind of been personalised like the Melbourne stuff and the Greatest Rumble and blah, blah. This is an official pay-per-view happening in Australia. Happy for the Aussies. Hope y'all get a great show. Make a lot of noise. And I think we're going to have a surprise fifth match here.
Comment below. I don't believe it's a match. You believe it is a match. I haven't really heard from the other guys, but it doesn't matter. Can you smell it? Anyway, enough of me. Just whichever way you guys want to think about it, think it's going to go, get your comments in below and get it in quick, because the show's about to start. Well, you got a few hours. Anyway, now let's bring it to what I believe is the main event, because if anyone deserves to close Elimination Chamber, it is the lady they call Rhea Ripley, everyone's favorite mommy. Anyway, look, I just believe that's the way it is. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the way Wikipedia shows you one thing, WWE shows you another. It's just the way it goes. We predict it. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. More importantly, is this going to be an entire clean sweep for the ministry? Like, is everyone going to vote the same way? Are we not? What happens if we're completely wrong? I don't know, especially with the points being so needy at this point. But anyway, it could be that there are some Nia Jax fans. There could be some... I don't know. I'm not going to call it. Let's have a look at the video and see how everyone voted.
All right, so next match is for the Women's World Championship. The reigning defending champion Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. This one for me is just a runner match, really. We know who's going to win. Nia Jax, I don't think she's winning anything. To me, I don't even see her as a threat. The only threat I see her being is her injuring Rhea Ripley again, and that's the only threat I see. But apart from that, I don't see her winning. Nia Jax is the kind of person, when things are not going her way, she's due to get a disqualification on some kind. Whether she gets a weapon involved, whether she doesn't break the 5 count, whatever it is, she pushes the referee. She's very hot-headed. She's not as focused as Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley has held that title for basically a year now. Or come WrestleMania, it will probably be a year. But she's strong. She's still strong. Yeah, she's had a couple of catch-ups over the last couple of weeks. But number one, she's held that title for nearly a year. Number two, she's going to be in her hometown, so there's going to be literally the whole arena back in Miami. And just as Rhea Ripley said on her last promo, I'm going to say right now, when the crowd start chanting Miami, Nia Jax is going to fold. And Miami will capitalize on that. Still, your World Women's Champion, Rhea Bloody Ripley, aka Mommy.
Next up, we got Rhea Ripley taking on Nia Jax for the Women's World Championship. Okay, so this is going to be the culmination of everything we've seen over the past few weeks of Nia Jax just basically destroying everyone, rampaging like angry kaiju, if you will, man. And unfortunately, Rhea has not been the exception to that rule of the people who Nia's gone through. So this is get back season now for Rhea. We're in Australia, we're in Perth, innit? And obviously this is their first PLE there. And Rhea, she's gonna be that big star. Probably gonna end up getting the the ovation of the night, to be honest. And like while Nia will beat her down, she'll give her a whooping greater than she's ever experienced, to be honest. Yeah, and come closer and really make us think, oh, Nia's gonna do it. Ultimately, Rhea's gonna pull out the win because we're just too close to WrestleMania and there's too many big dream matches to be set up for that Women's World Championship, and they all involve Rhea. So, yeah, Rhea Ripley for the win.
This may not be for absolutely everyone, but let's be honest, this could be an absolutely banger of a match. I think it could be one of Rhea's strongest competitors. They built Nia in a way to be imposing, so now you can question it. Do I think she's going to win? No. There is also the interesting fact that if they did go down that route, and I believe my prediction for the Women's Chamber match being Becky Lynch to win, you've got that historical, the beginnings of the man, and there's a nice little feud there. But let's be honest, Collision Course being Collision Course, there are two names, the two biggest names in WWE right now in women's division. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love what's happening on SmackDown, but on a Raw point of view, the man and Mummy. Let's see, let them fight. Let's see it get down. That's the one. And I think a nice 1 year run for Rhea is also a good thing on this. So quite frankly, as much as I think Nia is going to do an awesome job, maybe even have The Rock talk her up, like big up the bloodline, trying to take over on another side. Ultimately, the final decision is the man is going to be facing Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. So Rhea Ripley to retain. Sorry, Nia. That's just the way I see it. And it's in Perth. Mommy's hometown, baby. She's got to win.
I mean, look, there's no story to this one, is there? The fact of the matter is, I'll say this. If you wanted to inject some chaos into this, which I'd be all for, I mean, have Nia Jax win. You really want to annoy an Aussie crowd? Have Nia Jax win. All sorts of fun. It's not going to happen, though. Rhea Ripley is going to retain, but can I put this out there? Rhea Ripley has been a great character champ, but not a very good wrestling champ. The match which won her the title last year at Mania against Charlotte Flair, I would go so far as to say that was the best match for the whole weekend. It was a fantastic match that those two ladies put on. Since then, I can't really think of a Rhea Ripley match that's made me go, ooh, wow, I'm going to remember that one. The Flair one I will remember, but the Rhea match, I'm not going to remember it, man. Rhea's other matches, I'm just not going to remember. This does have the potential of actually being one of Rhea's more memorable matches because she's up against it now. So the fact that the home crowd are going to be behind her is going to add to the moment here. The fact that she's, for once, not the almighty powerhouse actually plays quite well into this. But, man, Rhea to win, 100% sure. Less predictable which way the Mania result goes, but I'm going to look back on this run and think she's been a great character champ, being Mummy, being the head of Judgment Day. Her character work's been exceptional. Wrestler?
Sweet. Elimination Chamber. We're going to move on to this match now, which is the Rhea versus Nia Jax. And I got to say, as much as everyone craps on Nia, my main issue with Nia is the fact that she's not as safe with all the other wrestlers as she should be, and people get injured. So that's my issue with Nia. But she plays a good heel. She's a woman that you love to hate. And with Rhea being in her homeland in Australia, it's one of them things that go, Rhea's definitely winning. But you just don't know with this company, they might just, let the hometown lose. Because they love to do that, let the hometown person lose their match. But not when the hometown person's Rhea Ripley that's been smashing it and killing it and doing what she's doing so amazingly, in Judgment Day, making Judgment Day actually good. So yeah, with this, it's nice and simple for me to make this pick because I'm picking Rhea Ripley. Done. If everyone don't pick the same, y'all are wrong. That's it. Boom. Ripley to win.
Okay, fun fact. Nia Jax was actually born in Australia too. I've only just found this out. So yeah, before she moved to Hawaii, it was she was born in Australia and lived there for some time. Not too sure how long that time was. So we potentially have an all Australian female main event in Australia. That will be a didgeridoo one, wouldn't it? But anyway, enough of the Australian puns. I'm so sorry, guys. Guys, comment below. I mean, there is a fun fact. I did think of it before. The hometown hero losing. Could you imagine? I mean, it's good for the bloodline, and this is Rock's favorite cousin. But could you imagine the booze and how PO'd if you thought WrestleMania was bad? Could you imagine doing that? Imagine doing that, taking the belt off of Mummy so close to WrestleMania. Oh my God, in her hometown. It would be disgusting. But again, comment below, guys. Put your predictions down and let us know how you think. Because for the first time ever, the ministry have all gone the same way. So there's a chance we all potentially get a bonus point. Maybe we cancel the bonus point. Maybe we're all on zero if Triple H has swerved us completely. I'm not too sure, but I do kind of have the confidence that we're all in the same position. But look, more importantly, do check us below. And as always, guys, check us out on X, formerly known as Twitter, MOW News, Instagram, Ministry of Wrestling, also on Facebook, Ministry of Wrestling, and of course here on the YouTube page. Give us a like, comment, and subscribe, and it will greatly be appreciated. But until the next time, I am the one AJ. You will see probably me and a couple of others on a few other shows, probably a recap of this and some other stuff. But until then, we are out. Enjoy the Elimination Chamber. See ya.